verse number 3 to 6. विषयेष्वाविषच्चेतः संकल्पयति तद्गुणान् सम्यक् संकल्पनात् कामः कामात् पुंसः प्रवर्तनम्. As already we have discussed that in Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter, ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषु उपजायते संगात् संजायते काम कामात् क्रोध विजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोह सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रम स्मृतिभंसात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यते. Second chapter, please refer verse number 62 and 63. So while discussing this thing, this is what exactly is being taught here. Little differently, this what two verses will say. Visheshu means with reference to sense objects. Avisat. So there it has been taught Dhyayato Vishayan Pumshaha, when the person starts dwelling upon very objectively. Here is Avishat. Avishat means the person enters. So there is involvement. So it's one step ahead. Then after that, Chetaha, this mind, what happens? Sankalpayati. So Sankalpayati means here, now there is a Sankalpa, there is a strong desire. So that means you can say the ordinary desire, a ordinary thought becomes a binding desire. Why it becomes binding desire? Because the person starts dwelling upon the good qualities of the sense objects. So the positive side of the sense objects. So once that is there, say the person wants that. So without that, the life is not complete. Things are not going to move. And of course, once the person samyak sankalpanat, so once the strong resolution is being built, that is very good, very nice, wow. Then what? Kama, I want. So the stronger sankalpa in me, stronger kama in me, desire in me. And once this kama, the desire is being built, pumsaha, then what happens? Pravartana. So based on the kama, automatically, based on the desire, so automatically activities happens. And of course we all are aware of it. This is a very simple thing that we have seen. Now he says, Tataha, let's read the next verse. Tataha Surupa Vibramsaha Vibrastastu Patatyadha Patitasya Vinam Nasham Punarnarohanikshate. So Tataha, thereafter, automatically what happens? Swarupa Vibrashta is a new way of putting it here. So once the person is being driven by the kama, the desire, and based on that, so here I am using the word driven by. So activity is already happening. So unless you are being driven by your karma, the activities will not happen. Now because of the activities, what happens? So that activities leads to what? Deviation from one's oneself. Swarupa Vibrashta. So that's why the person starts forgetting one's oneself. This is called forgetfulness. In fact, I am not exposed to other things. Very nicely they say. Many bhajans, many things which was in Orissa language I have heard, which actually gave a very good insight in my childhood, which I had my own questions. But later on I looked at it differently. that, as though they said, when the child was in the mother's womb, was doing, was remembering the God all the time. And they will go one step ahead because the child was always in a prayer position, surrender position. Long back, remember, only few years back, only this medical science explained how the fetus is and all these things. But in our concept, it was there. And not only that, in fact, in many temples we see that the fetus, how the fetus is in the mother's womb is already, carved. Means few thousand years also they knew it. Let us not get into that point. Here the point is, they say that as long as the child is beautiful, which I really appreciated, okay, to be very honest. But with my questions, like as long as the person was, this is called devotion, especially in Odisha devotion background, that's right. As long as the child was in mother's womb, in spite of all problems, in darkness, staying in the, Mala Purisha, don't forget that, we have discussed in details. And in spite of, and very suffocated place, but still was able to manage because was tuned to the God, the teacher they will say, tuned to the God, tuned to the totality. Or you can say here in this context, tuned to one's own self. But when the child comes out of the womb, starts crying, so that is what they interpret rice version, somehow I like those things. That kwang kwang, so they will say, it's not kwang kwang, child is kwang kwang, you understand? Not say that time she said, ko aham iti. So child's crying is not kwang kwang. So they will say, ko aham, ko aham. So the child is asking, who am I, who am I? And interestingly, because there is a separation, and because of the separation, now child feels completely helpless. And later on, the version goes, many versions are there related to this like this. Later on, the child now grows up. Now the sense organs of the child is becoming extrovert. And because of the extrovertness, now child completely forgets one's own self. And interestingly, they will go one step ahead in that thing is there. That fellow had promised, the child had promised in the mother's womb, in spite of all my problem, as I am tuned to you, once I am out of you, means out of these difficulties, I will be more tuned to you because there is no problem for me at all. But unfortunately, the moment it lands, completely different. Such a nice, version, somehow really I cherished like anything. There are few versions like this. Now this is also same thing indirectly is being taught. Let us say, tataha. So once the person is being pushed by the desire, and because of that reason there is activities. And based on that, what happens? The person is Surupa Vibramsahati. So there is forgetfulness. The person starts forgetting because our context is what? Negligence. Forgetting one's own self. Taking one's own self for granted. So that's why it starts. Then once this happens, of course, then because of Vibrashtaha, so the person is completely vrashta, deviated, that too devastated, not only deviated, devastated fellow, okay? Is deviated. Suppose if you are deviating something and you know that you are deviating, you can come back. But you are already deviated the road, diverted the road, but you do not know that you have diverted. Will you be able to come back? It is very difficult. I cannot say impossible, it's wrong, it is very difficult. So there is a deviation. So now this person, what happens? Completely, not only deviated, devastated. Then what happens? Patati iti. Where it patati? Patati means false. Where? Of course, adha, downfall. So there is no urdhva, no chance, okay? And of course, once you fall down, patitasya, the person who has fallen down, remember. And of course, for that, nasam is definite, death is definitely. Punah again, na aroha ishyate iti. Once you have fallen down, remember in this way, death means destruction is definite. Means without destruction means there is no other goal of a person who has fallen down. Then he says, goes one step ahead. Punah na aroha ishyate iti. So there is no rising up, there is no getting up. There is no possibility because it is not seen, it is not really visible, very, very exceptional. So that means it is very simple. Once the sense organs are extremely extrovert, I am using the word extremely extrovert, I am very carefully using one adjective. Because the sense organs are supposed to be extrovert, nothing wrong in it. But when it's extremely extrovert, what does it mean? That means the sense organs are not under one's own control. And because the sense organs are not under the control, definitely they will do whatever they want. Of course, backed up the mind of course in other area. So that means that is the person is completely deviated, and of course that person justifies anything and everything. And once the person starts justifying anything and everything, then the downfall happens. And once the downfall starts, it interestingly, one downfall leads to another downfall. As they say that whether fortune brings its family, but definitely misfortune always comes along with relatives, not only family, relatives together. It never comes alone. So also this downfall, once it happens, it is exactly like I have observed a plant. I don't tell you about human being, because you can understand plant because I see the plant. One plant I was observing. Same thing also human being, okay? When you plant a plant, like especially flower plant, you can see very nicely, it will start growing. As it starts growing, you will discover even if you don't pour water because of something or other, somehow it really struggles, it grows, manages. Even if there is no proper water, somehow it struggles and grows. And because the land is fertile and whatever, it grows very fast. And flower and everything it gives. And interestingly, when it starts breaking down, or you can say geriatric problem starts. The plants have its own geriatric problem. You will discover in a day or two, you understand? First the leaf will start falling, the branches, small branches will become weaker, it will break down. And you will see the destruction will be very fast. You can see the plants is very amazing to observe, because I am observing one plant here. So the last few days I have been observing. It is just in few days. In fact, interestingly, the plant that it grows as fast, remember, that plant also equally breaks down or geriatric problem happens faster. Imagine if it happens to the plant kingdom, to us also. It is not only with reference to physical destruction, also mental destruction. Can you see this point? The moment mental destruction takes place in you, anybody, like depression for example, when a person gets into depression, what happens? Have you not observed? You will have hundreds, 1000s of reasons to be depressed. If you don't understand depression, the best thing example is, if you want to fight with somebody, you have decided to fight, somewhere your screw is loose, okay? So what happens? You have thousands of reasons why you should fight. You understand? However, because if this is the case, but remember, once the person is caught up in this cycle, it's very difficult to come out of this. In fact, nobody really will be able to come out. That's why he says, look, na aroha ikshate iti. It is not seen. Generally, we are not able to see that if the person is being caught up in this process, is able to get up again. That is how people live their life. I remember very nicely, very bad way. Of course, I had presented those days because I was very raw and tough and rude, everything. Not that today I am better. I am also equally bad today, okay? But some polishing has taken place because of the age, I would rather say. However, I cannot say maturity. I remember, like in teenage time, all this, not teenage and other things. I had my few funny and fancy ideas and very tough ideas. So one of the idea was like, this marriage, about the marriage. It's okay, because this is called real funny, which is not really healthy, to be very honest. Now I can say openly, it's not healthy. See, suppose if you don't want to marry, but don't impose. But I have to justify, look, I am doing right thing. This is called funny idea, you understand? I tried to tell, including parents, which was really not right. I said, look, you people have ruined your life. Now you want to make sure that all your children's lives should be ruined so that you will be happy. Now tell me, after getting married, what have you people achieved? Have you achieved anything? If you people could not achieve anything, you think that I will be able to achieve? No. You want to have satisfaction. Because my life is ruined, let me make sure that my child life also is equally ruined. So all of us are together in the same boat. How can you see somebody is growing nicely, becoming happy? And when I talk this language, you know what they spoke. This fellow is a God case. But this is truth. I'm sorry to say. Now I can present in a very better way, okay? Because it's a very polished way. This is the truth. This is the reality. However, please don't subscribe to this idea, okay? Anyway, you can say, Swamiji, already damage is done for all of us almost here, okay? Those who listen to us, that is different thing altogether, okay? Swamiji, you are very good. Only after damage you open your mouth. But before damage you do not do. Hey, remember, even if I say also, nothing will happen, okay? If this is there, okay? Even if I say, don't get married, don't get married. Few of you also I have told, hey, no. Finally, Swamiji, okay, what does it do? Come. No problem. I know this will happen, okay? Joke apart. Because Vedanta always is serious is not good, okay? I have to make some, lively joke. This is a lively joke, nothing else, okay? Please don't take it seriously. You are very good. I am very happy because if you do not go through this thing, then how will you get my dakshina? So I need my dakshina, okay? So here he says, let us read the next verse, okay? Sankalpa varjayet tasmat sarvanarthasya karanam apathyani vasthuni व्याधिग्रस्तो यथोत्सुजेत. First he says beautifully, he gives one example. So what is that example? The example is that apathyani vastuni vyadhigrasto yatha sujet iti, yatha utsujet, yatha, as we have seen. Suppose you are sick. So a sick person, what happens? Definitely that person, apathyani. So pathya means the food, especially that which is not supposed to be taken. So apathyani vastuni, the food, and also vastuni also it can be taken. Apathyani vastuni also we can take it. Different habits. For example, if you have fever, you cannot take bath. You have to maintain yourself, your body temperature. There are few things. Suppose if you are having diarrhea, don't take bath all the time. Lot of things to be followed. So all of us, we follow certain things based on the prescription of a doctor. So when a person is under the spell of a vyadhi, any disease, so there are certain things the person has to give up, has to follow, has to maintain. There is no choice. If the person wants to recover fast, we say especially fever will return. Because remember, I do not understand this, especially this what they call so-called corona. Corona is an ordinary fever. It's just ordinary fever. They made such a havoc. Any ordinary fever comes back. If you do not, when the body is recovering, especially typhoid, one of the critical, we say that if the typhoid comes back, it's very dangerous. So its corona is exactly like that. But what is going on all over the world? Only few companies are enjoying and destroying the whole world. However, let me not get into. So when there is a fever, because what I am trying to tell, one need not be afraid of corona. And if really you want to die, corona is one of the best if it is there, okay? People die out of corona, not out of corona, out of panic attack. And the complications. And in the beginning, many people died, not because of corona, because of lack of service. No doctor, nobody attended them. Everybody was scared. Now look at, there is no medicine. Now people are recovering. Earlier, what a headache was there, you cannot think of. I remember when I came here, one idiot was talking to me. When you touch this thing and all these things, and there will be this many data they have been taught, okay? So you will be in fact minimum some 300 people, 1 into 300 people. I said, who gave you this data? In fact, I said, that whoever gave you must be idiot and you are another idiot. I am waiting for 1 or 2 months, I will see how your data is going to work. Anyway, so when you go through any fever, just you follow certain deities, food patterns, and also take care of your body very carefully. Not what you want. Even if you feel like getting good breeze because body is warm, still is not allowed. You have to allow the body temperature to be maintained. Even if you start sweating, please remember. How this is being done to take care of your physical body. Same thing also with reference to the mind. This is what is being highlighted here. So what he says, look, sankalpam varjete tasma. So how the food, apathya and vastuni affects the body when there is disease. So also here what happens? Sankalpam. So sankalpam means what? That I want this, I want that to be given up. That means sankalpa is nothing, looking or dwelling upon the positive aspect of the sense objects, which leads to sankalpa. Can you see this point? So that is need to be given up. Then what happens? Because why it is to be given up? Because sarva anarthasya karanam iti. So whatever problem that we have in our life, remember, All problem is because of that reason. Somebody said beautifully during the marriage time, or after marriage time, say, look, my life is ruined because of you. And remember, if that person says the same thing, what will happen? Will you be able to take it? So nobody ruins your life, neither you ruins anybody's life, okay? You people meet for each other to ruin each other's life. That is the best treatment. However, so that's why never ever blame a man or woman, both if you are a woman, man or woman, okay? That's why those days I remember, it's a beautiful way of putting it. Nowadays it's not like that. Those days the marriage generally comes with a mediator. Not like sadi.com, this.com, that.com, okay? Nowadays facebook.com, okay? Or somebody flight.com. While you're flying in the flight, they see each other, then they get married. And in the car also they give, we are flying, and whole life is flying, keep flying, okay? So at least when a mediator brings a marriage, you can blame that fellow. Both sides blame. Look, you ruined my life. What revenge you wanted to take? You destroyed my life. My life is destroyed. And that man will smile and say, don't worry, say true. So at least there is somebody you can blame. But you cannot blame the party directly. Can you see this point? Nowadays this sadi.com, this.com, that.com, okay, including facebook.com. You don't have any other choice blaming the person directly. So when you start blaming the person directly, what will happen? It will bounce back or not? And it bounces back very hard. Have you not observed that? So that's why never ever do that, even if it happens, okay? Why I am trying to say is, Sarva anarthasya karanam is what? The sankalpa. That's why never ever put anybody or anything in very high pedestal. Like any object you buy. This is what they say nowadays very nicely, which I really liked it. Long back somebody was interviewed, especially the person those days bought a beautiful car. So nowadays beautiful car, you can have a Tesla car, okay? So this all these things has gone away. Now Tesla is picking up, okay? With fully automated, okay? Wow! You can relax. So today I was seeing, okay, somebody has bought in our group on Tesla, okay, I was watching, wow, what a beautiful, features, huh? So fully automated, really nice, okay. To really seeing itself, I was seeing, I said, wow, nothing like that, okay. So, okay, let us say. So those days it was like that. When you get a best car, and suppose you are a CEO of a company, on all your decisions matters, every day matters. You know what they do? One CEO told in one of the interview, which I appreciated. The day he got the car, same day, he scratched the car. And everybody got shocked. New car you scratched? What is this? Purposefully did it scratched. He said, yes, it is very painful, but this is how my life is. He says, because I scratch, I don't have any issue. Now let us say I am going to the office. Somewhere some scratch happens. A vehicle comes, does scratch or something, or parking time, somewhere it happens. Now, that day, will I be able to decide anything? It will be very difficult for me to decide anything. Because mind will be always bugging. How did this scratch happen? Why did this scratch happen? It should not happen. It must not happen. You understand what I am trying to say? So always you will look back the scratching. Now in the process what happens? I will waste lot of time and lot of decisions. Or most of the decisions will be wrong or will go wrong or will go different. That's why I prefer to scratch first itself. Now what scratch takes place, later on even if a deeper scratch happens, will it matter much? Just observe your car or any vehicle, anything. When first scratch happens, you understand? Second scratch, third scratch. After some time, I remember Ajit will say, oh, something has happened to the car. Okay, no problem. Let us go. We are safe, na? That's more than enough, okay? Nothing is falling down, na? No problem. Let us go. Because you don't bother. You understand what I am trying to say? You look at it that way. So how this happens? Because it's a small thing to understand the implication of the life. Same thing also in the mind. Long before somebody tries to give you up, you need to give up. Can you see this point? Long before something happens, you have to be smart enough, intelligent enough. That's why we say very carefully. This is what the truth, the reality is. Long before body tries to give up, you better give up your body. Not committing suicide, okay? Please. Strictly no, not allowed. That is not giving up, that is called frustration, okay? Long before body gives you up, you must learn to grow out of your body. You understand? You must give up. Means have that objectivity. This is called, you can't give up. Means develop sense of objectivity. The body is external to you. If body is there, fine, not there, good. So also in any relationship. Long before it happens, you need to work on very carefully. Or else there will be a lot of sense of guilt or hurt. That's why if you look at in relationship, especially close relationship, either you have sense of hurt or sense of guilt. Can you see this point? How long can one live with the sense of hurt or guilt? Both are equally dangerous, remember. As the sense of guilt is dangerous, so also sense of hurt. Both are equally dangerous. And when I look at the relationship, this is how I look at people's relationship. Most of the time, either it is with sense of guilt or sense of hurt. Yeah, both are not healthy either. That's why Vedanta will allow you first to resolve that. Because if I don't resolve that, definitely mind is not going to work. Mind is not going to deliver anything either. Of course, it is related to my prarabdha. Remember, this is also an important point to resolve. Which is the truth. Also, it is easier or tool to resolve. Because of my prarabdha, I am caught up in this way. I don't have any choice. So when this is my prarabdha and I am caught up in this way, what I need to do? My job is learn to resolve. Not to create further and further mess, further and further complications. So that is what is being very carefully highlighted. Anything you see, any anartha. So all the root cause of all my anartha is what? Dwelling upon sankalpa. That's why what I need to do is learning to develop sense of objectivity. When you really develop the sense of objectivity, you will see a big difference. In fact, a lot of things that had influenced me in my childhood. In fact, one Bengali song was there, because Orissa those days was influenced by Bengalis, especially this Bhakti movement happened, another nuisance. There are few verses or few things was related to this. Whatever you do, while doing, develop the sense of objectivity. They'll say, because Bengali, why I brought this Bengali topic suddenly, not then it was out of context, because Bengali people without fish they cannot survive, okay? It's very difficult. They need, and the fish is called jala pushpa, water flower. You should know, okay? Please don't misunderstand me. I don't want to tell further if it doesn't look nice. Okay. In fact, some of the Swamijis also eat fish of Bengali Swamijis. So let me not talk details, it will not look nice, okay? That is another topic. There is jala pushpa, okay? So Jala Pushpa means the flower in the water, okay, water flower, fantastic. So that is one. While eating, Magur Machar Jol, Beta Haria Haria Bol. Say, not bad, huh? So still I am able to recollect those days. Magur Machar Jol, okay. So that is one particular type of fish called Magur. I think it will be, I don't know what it is English will be, some funny. So while eating that, Beta Haria Haria Bol. Dwell upon the Hari 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 Hari, because bhakti moment na. Yuba Narira Kol, correct. Yuba Narira Kol, Beta Haria Haria Bol. Magur Machar Jol, Beta Haria Haria Bol. This only communicates, not that you should eat, all these things. That's not the point. It is not purpose. But they will say, look, it is there, okay? Look, we should eat, nothing wrong in it. This is called justification. No. The community communicates only this much, that whatever you may do, develop sense of objectivity. And how can you develop the sense of objectivity? When you start dissociating yourself, dwelling upon the good qualities of any given object. Looking at the object as object, like a body as a body, not a body is everything. Looking at the mind as a tool, as a means. Looking at the body as a tool, as a means. Anything and everything to look at as a tool or a means for my growth, for my understanding, for realizing one's own self. Okay, let us read the next. Atha pramadanna parosti mrityuho Vivekino brahmavidah samadho samahita siddhimupeiti samyaka samahitatma bhavasavadhana. Look, ataha, therefore, what is that? Pramadat na parasti mrityu, for whom? Vivekinaha. So, Vivekinaha means for a person who is a discriminant. So, what happens for a discriminating person? Now for that person, pramadat na asti mrityuhu. So that means this person, there is no greater death than pramada, negligence, taking things for granted. In fact, whenever you have taken for granted, that time you are dead. And interestingly says that, not only that, and of course brahmavidah samadhu samahitah. And if you look at the one who is always brahmavidah, so who is the brahmavidah? The one who is a knower of the Brahman, the one who knows. Samadhu samahitah, and that is what is called siddhi. So when the person is in meditation, in samadhi, and there is avoidance within one's own self, and that is what is called siddhim upeti, attained siddhi. Samyak samahitatma bhava savadhana. Really, if you want, what is to be done here, it says, you don't have any other choice. Savadhana, very carefully, be alert. What you need to do it? Concentrate always upon one's own self in your mind. Let mind dwell upon you, not any object or anything. That's why beautifully in Vaishnava Samaj. So Vaishnava Samaj means, like, when all the Vaishnavas start sitting, because I had some good background, that's why I can say, now I am gone case. They will say, Sadhu Savadhan, okay? While eating, so suddenly they say, Sadhu Savadhan. So you get alertness. That means what? Even if you eat, you have to leave it there itself. That alertness comes, okay? Or else they will look down you. Hey, who are you? What is this? Then other things will happen. Let us not get into. So what is being highlighted here is how a person looks at it, how a person functions, and while looking at anything or how while functioning, how much sense of objectivity that you are developing. As I was talking, Maguru Machar Jhol, okay? Beta, Hariya Bol. Even if you want the most like this, okay, you understand? Because Bengali without that they cannot survive. Like that. Their nose is very smart or very sharp, okay, to smell this thing, okay? So, however, so wherever they get, so no problem. I remember one Swami, was having inside the rice, putting the fish and eating. I said, what is this? No. I said, then I discovered this. I said, no, this is not right. But because that is what they are, what can I do? What can you do? I am not looking down, okay? It's good. Let them do whatever that is up to them, okay? Let us not comment anything. But when that happens, but let there be sense of objectivity. That is what main point, nothing else, okay? We have to understand, okay? If this is the case, what is to be done? He said, look, one should see only oneness, no plurality in life. There are few verses, let us read. Jivato yasya kaivalyam videhe sacha kevalah yatkinchit paschyato bhedam bhayam vrote yajushruti, which we'll see tomorrow. Well, this is another topic, so we'll see tomorrow. Okay? Thank you very much. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamavadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.